Nathan. This is Mrs. McCarter, and I am going to go over the lesson that I assigned to you, elements combined to form compounds. So as a review, when you are in Ms. Carl's Google Classroom, you go to classwork and you scroll down to Mrs. McCarter's science. And we are going to take a look at the first activity, which was elements combined to form compounds, okay? So in this activity, I had asked you to watch the video, and after you watch the video, you are to say what happens when sodium and chlorine combine. And what you were supposed to do is you were supposed to give your answer in the comments and then click done. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the answer to that question. I'm going to play the video. And I'm not going to actually play the whole video. I'm going to go forward to the part that answers the question.
And able to join together to form a crystal compound we can't live without. Sodium chloride. Table salt.
I don't exactly see like piles.
And that's our answer. Table salt is formed when sodium and chlorine combine. Now that we have finished with our answer to the first activity, we're going to move on to the second activity. I am going to close the tab that opened when my first video played, and it will take me back to Google Classroom right where I left off. Now I am going to be working on the second activity that says compare and contrast. I'm going to click that. It has directions. It says reread pages 243 to 244 in your science book, and you're going to answer 3 questions. Question number 1. What 2 elements were combined in yesterday's video? What 2 elements were combined in pages 243 and 244? And finally, what is similar about the compounds formed in the video and the pages? You were to write your answers in the comments and submit, but I'm going to show you a strategy on writing the answers in your science interactive notebook. So here is my science book and my math interactive notebook. And the reason why I have my math interactive notebook is because I forgot my science interactive notebook at Jefferson. I do not have an extra notebook to create a new science interactive notebook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my math notebook and I'm going to go about halfway. I have a nice little split in the middle for my half. And I am going to put a little tab up here that says science, so that when I am doing my science activities, I know it's going to be in my math book, but I can just open up to the science. If you have your science interactive notebook, you don't have to do this. You can just add this on to the next page in your notebook. So I am going to go ahead and write science nice and big. If you are artistic and you have the time, you can go ahead and decorate this with any kind of science icons or pictures that you might want to put on this page. But for today's activity of comparing and contrasting the video and the text, we're going to start on a new page. Okay, and we are going to compare and contrast. That was the title of the activity. Compare and contrast. There are many ways to compare and contrast. Venn diagram is very popular, but for the sake of this activity, I believe that 2 columns would be the easiest way to compare and contrast. So I'm just going to split my paper in half with a very large T, okay, to make 2 columns. Some people actually call this a T-chart. And we are going to be comparing 2 things. We are going to be comparing the video, and I'm going to switch to pencil, with the text. The video that we watched was from PBS, and the title of the video was How Elements Form Compounds. And you can write that in your interactive notebook. What we learned was there was the element of sodium, which is symbolized with Na. And the other element that was combined was chlorine. The symbol is Cl. Chlorine was described in the video as a deadly poison. However, when sodium and chlorine combined, it became sodium chloride, which was table salt. Okay, those are my notes from the video. Now I am going to move on to the text. In our science books, we were reviewing page 243 and 244. Elements combined to form compounds, and there were questions that were related to elements that were combined. If you read thoroughly through this, you will actually see that their example is just this paragraph right here. It was calcium and chlorine combined to form calcium chloride. It has something very similar here. It says that chlorine is a greenish yellow gas that is extremely reactive and poisonous to humans. So we're going to add these notes to our chart. Our text, we're going to be very specific. It was on page 244. Our lesson in the text is entitled Elements Combined to Form Compounds. I'm going to turn my page over again. I'm going to switch these. There we go. That's better. And we see here it's calcium that is combined this time. And calcium is, the element is abbreviated Ca. And chlorine, once again, is combined. This is Cl. This says here it's poisonous to humans. This one made calcium chloride. This can be used to melt ice. Now that I have put down all my notes in the video and in the text, I am going to compare and contrast. Compare is to see how something is the same, and to contrast is to say how something is different. So I am a visual learner, and sometimes what helps me is green and red. Green means go, red means stop. So I'm going to take a marker and I'm going to highlight or underline in green everything that is the same. So what is the same? One was a video, one is text. That's not the same. How elements form compounds. Elements combine to form compounds. For both of these activities, we are talking about forming compounds. One element was sodium here, the other element was calcium. That's not the same. However, chlorine, which is Cl, is the same in both of our videos. We also, or video and the text, we also see that they're both poisonous. But when they combine, you can see that one is sodium, one is calcium, but they both have the ending of chloride. So something combined to make chloride. So you can see all the green is things that are the same. We are comparing with the green. Now we are going to contrast. Contrast means how something is different. So what's different? One is from PBIS, one is from the text. One has sodium, the other one has calcium. Sodium and calcium, okay? And that is simply taking notes, saying what's the same and what's different, comparing and contrasting the video and the text. Thank you.